What's up, everybody? Let's get this party started. Oh, well, let me tell you, this is Robert Ferguson. I'm here to share because we care. And today is no different. We are going to have a really good conversation. It's a conversation where we're going to talk about Ozempic, some things I want you guys to learn about. We're actually going to do like a watch this along with us. And then we're going to talk about metformin, some updated information about metformin that you would want to know. And if you don't know what metformin is, it'd be a great time for you to like tune in and learn what it is, because it's something that's being promoted not just for diabetes, but something that's being promoted that will actually help people, they say, live longer. So as we get into that, I'm going to bring on my partner in crime for today's episode, the Hammer Grill, aka the one and only Miss Lisa Marie.
Hello, Robert. Hello, everyone.
Oh my goodness, I am having such an interesting day with technology today.
Apparently, so I guess I wasn't the only issue that you were having with technology today, huh?
No. And you know what? There's a lot of people out there who have a moment where they're like, I hate technology. Like, you know how you go into someone's home and they have 3 different remote controls?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's me. I have like
I
3.
think that's a game changer for some people. So I'm having some problems with my cameras today, and they just keep jumping around. It's like unbelievable what's going on. But anyway, we will make it happen. Well, I wanted to kind of kick things off today, if you don't mind. What is going on here? Like my cameras are like,
You're
I mean,
having
it's
some problems.
unbelievable. It's like, what is going on? This is crazy. Anyway, we're
Oh, where'd you go?
oh, I'm here. I'm here.
I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. I am right here enjoying the moment. But let's start off. I want to watch this video and then get your input on it, because they're talking about Ozempic. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's check this out.
All right.
This is a place where you need to come and watch, and we talk about Ozempic and Wegovy, because I feel like we do this a lot because it's such a hot topic.
Well, because I want to go on it, and so far nobody's given it to me yet.
No one needs to give it to you. The doctors are smart. Okay, but between the two of them, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, they've become the norm when we're talking about these weight loss drugs.
All right, the shots are so popular that they've led to shortages, and some people, including celebrities, they're being scrutinized for using them. Recently, Oprah Winfrey admitted that she now uses a weight loss medication after years of struggling with her weight. Joining us right now with more is New York City's medical weight loss specialist, Dr. Sue Dakotas. Nice to have you here on Good Day New York.
Okay, before Sue starts talking here, let's just have a little conversation. Okay, this is a doctor who says she specializes in medical obesity. And I've seen her on a few different little episodes, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be interesting to see and to hear your thoughts on what she's going to share. So I'm going to stop it because I want people to kind of hear. This is a lady who I've seen on TV multiple times, and she comes across like she knows everything about it. And I'm kind of, leading the witness, if you will, by saying that you'll notice she's more of an infomercial than she is someone who's actually providing information that can help people. It's all about getting to her office. So I did set it up that way, but use your own judgment, and I want to get your feedback on it. Okay.
All right.
All right, you guys, let's see what this doctor has to say.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays. So let's talk a little bit about the holidays, because I'm hearing, some people want to have that holiday drink. They want to eat a holiday cookie. So they're taking themselves off Ozempic, which is not a good thing to do, right? I mean, can you go on and off these weight loss drugs?
You can, but there's no reason to. So all of my patients are enjoying the holidays, and they plan on losing weight during the holidays.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. So did you hear her say that you can go on and off Ozempic, but you don't have to, and you can still enjoy food?
I did.
Well, I mean, what's your initial thoughts when you hear that?
I mean, well,
Well, and think about how the drug works.
right. Like, so because that's also apparently what we had this discussion about Oprah, right? Where she kind of uses it like that as well. But one, stopping and starting a drug. She's saying that her patient, did she just say that her patients are not stopping and starting it and they're
Right.
just still enjoying their food, their
Yes.
holiday food? Um, I'd like to talk to her patients. I don't and finds out if they're really enjoying their holiday meals because that's not what I hear. Um,
I mean, the first thing that I thought about when she said, I go, come on, man, that's why I said it feels like an infomercial, because she's saying what people would want to hear. And
yeah,
she's saying that no, you can stay on the drug, and she's going to go on and explain that. But everyone who's watching, I want you to understand that part of why the drug works with weight loss is that you're not hungry. So if you're not hungry, how are you able to enjoy food?
yeah. Well,
I
that's
mean,
what I
that's
was
the first
getting.
and obvious one.
That was like what I was getting at. Like that's why I was saying I'd like to talk to her patients and find out if they're really enjoying that meal because they're not hungry. Everybody that I know that I've talked to, they don't have an appetite. They can't even enjoy like like a little sliver of food without being sick. So that's interesting.
Right. So, I mean, already we're set up. Now, most people may not be thinking about that, right? So they're watching it going, oh, okay, well, I didn't know you could still eat, And so they're thinking they can still eat. Even though the studies say that you're not hungry, the weight loss is based on people starving. You're
Right.
starving without physically starving,
Right.
right? So you're just not eating. And that's why you're able to lose this weight. So I'll pause it. Let's let her make her point, and then we'll kind of reflect on it.
All right.
So when you're on these medications, you feel very full, you feel very sated. You can eat small amounts. So you can just pick and enjoy everything. So it gives you the freedom of being able to enjoy the holidays.
So I see that you brought it with.
Okay.
Oh, that
I mean,
sounds like a holiday meal I want to enjoy, Robert. Like I want to just pick. She said you're full, you're satiated. So like, just like if you think about that, if I'm full and I'm satiated, how am I going to enjoy that meal with my friends and family that's sitting in front of me?
right. Well, someone in the group, I don't know if you can see what they said, but they said that, yeah, nausea is not a great way to enjoy food.
Right?
I
Like
mean,
you're not eating if you're full. So and then to just, like I mean she has this nice big smile on her face too, right? When she's saying that. And you get to pick. You get to like, pick little crumbs of food and hopefully you don't vomit after, right?
yeah, just eat a little bit of this and a little bit of that, which a lot of people do that.
I do. I'm a picker. I like to pick. I like to have a whole lot of different food in front of me, but I don't like to, feel nauseous and sick and, my body will tell me when it's full, but sorry.
No, this
Um,
it gets better. Let me tell you.
okay, let's go. Let's see what else
you.
she says.
Okay.
So this is Ozempic, right?
Okay.
So this is an older medication. It's still very popular.
Right. And this is what it looks like inside?
And this is what it looks like. So you put a needle into this.
Yeah, let me
there
see
are
that
little
side.
needles that.
Needles?
It almost looks
Don't give
like
her the full thing because she's going to try
It's loaded, so I don't want to
get out of here.
Oopsie. I didn't see a needle there. Is
Well,
there a
it's
needle?
underneath. You have to take the cap off.
Don't you dare.
And
I'll
then you
take that.
push. And then you push.
Then you push.
Right.
So it's so simple.
It's
just
very
like,
simple.
It's
Right.
like a pen.
Now this is Mounjaro. This is terzepatide. This is a compounded variety, and the reason why this is great is that we can customize the dose. Ozempic only comes, or commercially available drugs only come in set doses. And as we were saying before, it's really important to bring people up slowly until they're in the fat burning zone, and then titrate them down.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. So can you tell or see why I said it sounds like an infomercial?
Yeah, absolutely.
She just said we can get them in the fat burning zone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The drug does not cause you to like be in the fat burning zone. Like it's not like the drug is the active ingredient that you're burning fat.
Mm-hmm.
You're not hungry. So when you don't eat, you're in starvation mode like people were in concentration camps. people went into concentration camps, and a lot of people were heavier. And when you're in a concentration camp and they're only giving you a slice of bread and some water, you're going to lose weight. Now, the difference is that in the concentration camp, at first you're hungry and you're starving and you're like freaking out. But then your body settles and it literally slows, the metabolism literally slows in a way where you're not as hungry as you would be when you're used to being fed food. This drug helps you get to that place sooner, but no one would say the weight you lose in a concentration camp is considered healthy. So why are we saying the weight you're losing on a drug like this is considered healthy?
Right.
But she gets better. I mean, you're gonna want to scream at this lady.
Yeah. Well, they were also like making it like, oh, look, it's so easy. You just like, you just take this needle and inject yourself. Like, I mean, there's something wrong with that in itself, like getting everybody okay with needles, you know what I mean? And injecting themselves, but that's another topic.
Okay, so now she's got answers, man. I got to give her credit, boy. She's got an answer for everything that they bring back. But I'm telling you, it's about to get very interesting. Okay,
All
so
right,
here we
let's
go.
This is how they keep the weight off.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask, is because, there's certain friends that I have that are like, I just want to, lose 15 pounds, 10 pounds. But I was like, well, why are you going to take this stuff? Because then you're going to have to be on it forever. Once you stop taking it, you're going to gain the weight back.
So unless you're highly insulin resistant, or let's say you're older, you have other medical problems, this reboots your insulin. So the way that...
Okay. Now, see, this is where, like, if someone was sitting with me, I get sick to my stomach. She just said it reboots your insulin.
How?
It doesn't. It doesn't. And it's not in any literature anywhere. And I love how the lady who was just speaking, the co-host with the dark hair, I love it because she's asking like a really good question. It's like, you're going to have to be on this for life. And even on the Oprah special, they made it very clear. You're going to be on this for life.
I didn't see the Oprah special.
Oh, it's go on Hulu. Is worth the cringe moment that you will experience because you're going to be on it for life. And if you stop taking it, we do know, not all, but even in less than 2 years, 65% of the people who lost weight will gain it back. They know that in their own study. And we know that inside of 5 years, I would bet everything that all people, okay, maybe 1 out of 100, but the large majority of people are going to gain all their weight back. And oftentimes people are gaining even more back. But she blatantly lied when she said what she said about insulin. That was a blatant
It resets your insulin.
Yeah, give me a break. Okay, here we go. I'm telling you, it's about to get really interesting.
All right, let's go.
This drug works. It's not just an appetite suppressant. It really rewires your body. It makes insulin work better. As we get a little older, we get that little punch. We can't really lose it at the gym anymore. It's because our insulin isn't working. So
that is a total lie. And I love how I don't love it. She makes a comment, oh yeah, that little area.
That little pouch.
You know how many people are watching that going, yep, I'm gonna get it now.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, that's the part that's like frustrating, even like listening to that, right? Because you can see like she's totally, this is just like marketing Ozempic right now. It's just a sales pitch, really.
It is such a lie. It is but it's taking advantage of people
who
don't have knowledge. So for those of you who are listening or you watch things like this and you're like, oh man, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. You're ignorant. That means you're just, and that's not being mean. You're unaware. You don't know. You really don't know what you don't know. And so that's why we're taking this moment to do this.
And it's because this is what they do, right? Like they put this doctor on the news. You have them asking her questions, and you have this doctor who we're supposed to trust and believe. And, when that, when you can kind of hear that, like that, what she's saying, I don't know how she can go on air and say that being, a doctor, what she's saying.
They do it all the time.
I know.
And you know what I like about this doctor and what she's doing on the air is because think about the people who are in her office. She's probably got a nice office. I think she says up in Manhattan. And if you're in there, she's a doctor. So the average person who doesn't know any better, they're like, okay, this looks legit. You know what? And she's convincing, man. She's got an answer for everything.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm telling you, you're about to fall over because it gets really interesting.
Right, let's go.
Okay, here we go.
When we reboot that insulin, we become a fat-burning machine again. And the mistake a lot of people make, and a lot of doctors are not, because they don't have it, they're not able to follow patients on a body composition scale. That is essential.
Is that why we're hearing so many problems? There's so many issues with this, stomach problems, GI problems, and this is all coming from what?
Well, the GI problems can happen in the beginning, a little nausea, maybe a little vomiting, but the muscle loss that you're hearing about should not occur.
Okay. So this is where you're starting to see more doctors mention muscle loss, which we've been talking about from day one. The studies are clear. 40% of the weight that you're losing is coming from skeletal muscle. I have had doctors mention upwards to 70%. Now, people don't know what that means. That means nothing. But to lose skeletal muscle puts you one step closer to osteoporosis, increases your risk of heart attack by 300%, causes you to age much faster, right? You're going to start to see that in Oprah's face. Trust me on that. You guys keep an eye out. You'll see it. And Oprah's been looking pretty good up until 70 years old, but you're going to see it. The longer she's on it, the more skeletal muscle will be gone. Good news for her is that she's exercising and she has some people telling her to eat more protein, even when she's not hungry, which is helping preserve it. But when you're 70, you ain't gaining no muscle. Go to any bodybuilder, go into a gym and say, hey, what's the likelihood of a 70-year-old, a 65-year-old, a 52-year-old building a significant amount of muscle? They can, and a lot of it is dictated by their past experience, muscle memory, if you will. But most people don't have the tenacity to work as hard as you got to work to even maintain your muscle at that point. So to purposely take a drug where you are losing skeletal muscle, that is a disservice. And every doctor who recommends these drugs, I think they should be sued, all of them.
Agreed.
I mean, we know you're losing skeletal muscle. And something to keep in mind, when the FDA regulated all of these drugs and they talked about weight loss, they only use a scale. They didn't look at, electrical bioimpedance. They didn't look at a way to measure body fat and see how much of your weight is coming from skeletal muscle. And this woman is pushing hard now. This is the part where I said she, throw you out your seat, saying that she has a way where she's able to minimize. Well, she doesn't even say it like that, just tacky. She's basically saying you don't lose muscle.
You don't lose muscle is what she just said.
Give me a break. Blatant lie. And this station, they should be sued too. All of them.
Right.
Unbelievable. All right, here we go.
Because when you stabilize insulin, your body is stronger. It's like it was when it was younger. You make muscle, you make bone, and you burn fat. So we follow.
Oh,
what? Oh my goodness. I can't. My stomach is turning listening to this.
Oh man. She said, did she just say you make muscle?
What did you say? When your insulin is in check, you make muscle, you burn fat. Like, what? Rewind that again. I need to hear what she said.
Okay, so you guys, for those who are new to all of this, okay, and any of my clients or Lisa clients, please if you don't understand why we're laughing and why we just had an outburst, please bring that up in your next coach call. Please, because I wouldn't want you on TV saying some crazy shit like that. That was crazy. Okay, so I went back a little bit more. I'm gonna let it play so we can really hear and get the context of where she's coming from.
There's so many issues with this, stomach problems, GI problems, and this is all coming from what?
Well, the GI problems can happen in the beginning, a little nausea, maybe a little vomiting, but the muscle loss that you're hearing about should not occur. Because when you stabilize insulin, your body is stronger. It's like it was when it was younger. You make muscle, you make bone, and you burn fat. So we follow the patient on a body composition scale. I want to see what's your muscle mass, what's your fat. And that's how, when you get to your goal, that's how I taper you off the medication. I've had women in their 70s be able to be effectively tapered off the medication, and they've been able to maintain their weight loss.
Liar on fire.
Hmm.
See, this is what's happening, Lisa, if you didn't know this. The medical establishment has come out with a new certification for medical weight loss or obesity. I don't know the exact term they use. And so they're teaching doctors like this who buy into it, which means they make more money. And it puts them in a position where they're like a weight loss specialist, an obesity specialist. And the only thing that they brought in was educate people on body composition.
So what I wonder, did we look her up? Like what type of practice does she have in the city?
I
Like
think she talks about it a little bit. She's a weight loss specialist. She's in your state.
I know, but I'm saying like is she like a cosmetologist? You know what I mean? Like
No,
is
she's
she like a
I think
is
she's
she
an
a
internal medicine doctor. She's a family practice, but specializing in obesity and weight loss.
okay.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm telling you, this is crazy. And I would just wonder, like, for those of you who are watching this with us, would you speak up if that lady had you in her office? Because every time you would have any pushback, she would have an answer.
Oh my goodness. I should go to her office, Robert.
Oh man, and have a hidden camera, please.
Yeah. Let's have
Jesus.
a conversation.
Okay, here we go.
Because they're maintaining the amount of food they eat, which is a little bit.
The other thing that nobody talks about is hydration. Even in the package insert, a lot of times they don't mention you must drink a lot of water when you're on these medications. If you don't, the drug doesn't work as well, and you could lose muscle. Many doctors are not telling their patients that. But in medical weight loss, we understand that your body, fat is all water. So when you're burning fat rapidly, you're losing water, you're becoming dehydrated. And a lot of the symptoms that you mentioned, like the nausea, feeling tired, a lot of that's from being dehydrated.
Okay, what about
Did she
Okay,
just say
so
fat is all water? Is that what she just said too?
yeah, so yes, there is water and fat, same as there's water and muscle.
But
And
the
right,
way
so
she
when,
said it.
yeah, the way she said it was, and it shows how she is new to body composition.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when someone learns something a little bit and they can't wait to like talk about it, but yet they don't have the years of experience, or they don't talk about it so much that they really understand it. You
Yeah.
can
They
tell
just
that
be
she's
like,
all over. Yeah, she's like all over the place.
yeah.
And I have a body composition scale. I mean, come on. It's like
She's very excited.
I mean, she's great at that part.
Hmm.
And I bet she's got people lined up running to her office because ignorance. And that's why when the work that we do, and of course, I know you know this, but it's like education is so important. When a person is not informed, you fall prey to those who are misinformed. But when you're informed and you have your own ability to think for yourself, you can have that critical thinking and process, and you can ask those questions. Like I have a lot to say about metformin, and so we're going to get to that. I'm not going to spend too much time. We'll jump over to Telegram, but I had a very interesting conversation about that, and it really comes down to not how much money you have, not all the contacts you have. It comes down to like, are you getting the accurate information? Because if you're not, you can get frustrated. Next thing you know, you're just making decisions based on what you think is right, instead of saying, okay, I want the truth. Because there is a place where there's truth.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Let's continue with the quackery.
about the constipation and the diarrhea? Because I'm hearing people having accidents in their bed.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual.
My God.
It's true.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual.
It's unusual?
I'd say constipation is a little bit more common than diarrhea. I think the key side effect at the beginning is nausea. Most of that is mitigated by drinking a lot of water.
Okay, the other thing I heard is if by chance you have to have some kind of surgery, you have to be careful if you're on Ozempic, because the food still stays in your stomach longer. So when you think that you're fasting and the next day you're doing surgery, you may not be fasting enough.
Well, a lot of surgeons are going to tell their patients to maybe stop it a week before.
Okay.
Some surgeons don't. A patient of mine just got a facelift, and she was able to continue losing.
Wow, that case, wait, what happened? She had the facelift and no problem?
Yes, she looks younger than ever, and she's got a great body.
Ozempic face, can we talk about that?
Yes. So that's a bit of a myth, okay? So what happens is when we're heavy for a while and we're older, all of that weight really lays on our collagen. We don't reproduce collagen as much as we did when we were young. So when you lose that weight, you see the aging on your face. It's not the drug. It's just that your aging is revealed.
Really?
Okay, so you know what, you guys, if you lose weight fast, like think of anyone you've known that had cancer, and they went through chemo. And most of the weight they're losing because they're not eating, right? If you just think of anyone you've ever seen in a hospital, the reason why they look old and sometimes they look older and their face look a little gaunt, that is 100% because they've lost a significant amount of skeletal muscle. So this woman's trying to skirt around that reality and say that, you know, people aren't losing muscle. The way we do it, you keep muscle. Muscle mass is important. So it's that whole thing that you see in politics, right? If I'm doing something bad and naughty, I'm just going to like point at everyone else and say they're doing something bad and naughty. So you talk about and blame others when you're doing exactly what you're blaming them for. So to speak about it is the way they're dealing with it, because the reality is people are losing skeletal muscle and you will look older. Unbelievable. Okay, we're almost done, you guys, with this.
Okay, because from my understanding and what we kind of look at, we see certain celebrities that lose this drastic amount of weight and their face looks bigger.
But again, what's their muscle mass? Now, if you've got that big head, you know, like the lollipop head, that's people that have lost way too much weight. That doesn't happen in my practice because we're fine.
I guess we need to see her because it doesn't happen in her practice. But it happens everywhere else. I don't know.
So the woman, right, the anchor with the, you know, the brunette, I mean, that's a great question. When people lose all that weight, when you lose skeletal muscle, like Osborne, look at her. That woman has become frail. She is so susceptible to hip fracture now. Osteoporosis, I mean, I would bet everything she's living with it right now. And she said many times publicly that she went too far with this and it was not a good decision for her. And she aged significantly. I don't know, this woman, I find her hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, everybody that I know who has, you know, either, you know, told me that they've been on it or friends that, you know, are concerned. I get a lot of calls from, you know, friends who listen to us speak and who are concerned about like their friends being on these drugs. And like they all say like their friends look just sick, you know, like their face is just like gaunty looking, you know, like they've aged. I don't know what she's doing in her practice. Like, that's why I was wondering if she has like some sort of like cosmetic thing in there, like, you know, like plumping it back up because her patients aren't experiencing that. I don't know.
Well, you know, Ansel Keys wrote a book and did a major study in the 60s, I believe. I have the book. And it was one of the last studies they did with human beings before it became unethical to do studies like this. And they purposely starved people. And they wanted to see how the body responded to starvation. And everything that we're seeing with these drugs is predicted in the work that he did, you know, years ago.
Yeah.
Starvation is not good, you guys. It really isn't. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Following everybody very carefully.
Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne's wife.
Yeah.
She's complained that she's lost too much weight. She can't get off it. Now she's got to be going to a good doctor. She's got a lot of money.
I really don't know. Not every physician is trained in medical weight loss. Is she getting on a body comp scale? If she were my patient, I would stop her at a certain point, start titrating her down, and look at her diet. Maybe she's not getting enough protein. Maybe she's not hydrated.
All right, Doc. I'm going to give this back to you. Where can
Cost
people
me
I will make
$1,100.
sure that she gives this back to you. She don't need it.
Let me just try one little thing. Where can people find you?
Well, Pseudocotis MD. I'm right here in New York City.
Yeah.
And I specialize in medical weight loss, Midtown Manhattan.
Thank you so much.
Happy holidays.
You too.
You better get.
Well, there you go.
Well, you know what? I specialize in weight loss, Long Island, New York. How about that? Like, come on. That's just like, you know what? Because it's just so sad that it's just so sad because there are a lot of people that just don't know. Like, they don't know the information that we have, and they're listening to these people, like on that tube of a TV, and they don't understand what, like, they don't know. And it's just, like, looking at her, she looks like, hey, like, look at her, she's this, she's a pretty woman, she seems, she can talk the talk of it, she, like you said, she has all of those answers.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't know what they're not saying, but like the two newscasters, whatever you want to call them, um like, if you listen to them, like, even like the one girl, on like the left was like, no, she's not taking that. Like, I look at that like, yeah, you don't want to take that drug. Like, she's telling you, do not take that drug. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's just sad that, you know, I don't know. There's just people are just misinformed, and this doesn't help them out. You know what I mean?
It's so when someone says that that education is not a big part of it, it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you've heard of metformin, and our job is we get people off metformin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Metformin is often prescribed to people who are diabetics to help them with their glucose levels. Many times when someone has PCOS, they'll be prescribed metformin, and part of that is helping with their insulin resistance, etc. And now more and more in the last 4 years, people have been taking metformin purposely because of a study that is still undergoing, where they believe that metformin may be the drug that can help you live longer and have quality of health longer.
Mm.
And so what they did is, this all started with these physicians. They did a meta-analysis where they took, I think it was over 80,000 patients over the years, where they had the records. And they wanted to see, like, okay, well, people who took metformin and people who didn't take metformin, they came up with this outcome where it said live 15% longer if you take metformin. So once this little study kind of got out there in a medical journal that wasn't conclusive, a lot of doctors started recommending metformin to people.
Mm.
So a lot of wealthy people and in the know people, if you will, because they have resources and money, are walking around with metformin. Don't have diabetes, but taking metformin because they were told maybe you may even lose a couple pounds, and this metformin will help you long term. And so I've had a couple debates with some executives who are all about metformin. And I said, you guys are so ignorant that if I can get you just to breathe and listen for a second, I can share with you multiple studies that have come out that conclude that that's not a reality. Matter of fact, the studies demonstrate that if you're taking metformin and you exercise, all the benefits that you would get from exercise are blunted by the metformin.
Mm.
So imagine here you are exercising because you like taking care of yourself. You got a personal trainer, putting in the work, doing all those things, but you're taking metformin, not knowing that half of what you think you're getting as far as a benefit from exercise, you are not getting.
Yeah.
You're not getting. So I'm going to share the studies. I'm going to write like a little article on it and then share the studies so people can read it for themselves. Go look at the studies because they're double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized. I mean, these are tight, like legit studies that demonstrated that the people who were taking metformin compared to people who didn't, diabetic and not, the people who weren't taking metformin had better skeletal muscle and had better fat loss. And we're talking about the metformin, for whatever reason, is creating interference at the level of your mitochondria. But yet, people think about it. The average person goes in, the doctor looks the part, says, metformin, of one little study that's ongoing, trying to figure it out that maybe metformin can help you live a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It is not true.
Right.
And when it comes to like longevity, for those who want to like look better as you mature and get older, nothing is better than consistent workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I mean I wish it was something fancy.
Yep.
But that's the truth.
Wow.
So what are you gonna do? Like the song, what are you gonna do when they come for you?
Do when they come for you.
Bad boys, bad boys. Or you put on your P. Diddy hat, don't stop, won't stop. Don't stop, won't stop.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man. Lord help us. So it's really just having, to me, at the end of the day, it's like nutrition education is king. And evidence-based, that's where everybody can start. And then look for clinicals that prove that have the outcomes that support what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else is there to say? They're superstar hammer girl.
No, I mean, I've got to listen to that. I mean, that kind of like, I don't know, it stirred something up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it just kind of gets me angry. I'm not gonna lie, listening to that. Like, so I gotta think about this one.
Yeah, and I've seen her on that station, I'm thinking at least 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying the same thing every time.
Well, because it's like that, like they have there are consultant doctors who, give the message that they want them to give. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, they fit the narrative
They
because
fit the narrative. They're not allowed to, I mean, they're not even, they have to say certain things. I mean, the drug company owns the station. So they have to stay within what they allow them to say. They can't even, educate you on like true informed consent, because that goes against what, they're allowed to do on those stations.
right. Well, I heard Tucker Carlson, who had the #1 news show, on Fox for many years. I heard him explain how it works, and he said that pharma controls what you can't say.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they do control a big part of the narrative, because 70% of the money that's coming into these stations is
Yep.
coming in from pharma.
Yep.
And Ozempic and Wegovy, that's pharma.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that someone in their company says, look, make sure they're obesity, whatever she kept saying she's certified in, because that fits the narrative. You can't have someone that's going to come on that's going to completely destroy us and
Right.
make us look stupid.
Right. I know too, like talking with my doctor, because during COVID, she was on, they had invited her onto some news stations. And, she was saying too, like she couldn't say the things that she really wanted to say. So she had to kind of put things out there in a way that you kind of had to read between the lines of what she was saying, like she wasn't going, she was kind of giving the truth, but in their guidelines. She's like, you have to fit their guidelines, or they edit whatever they want out, or, they don't have you back. So she was like trying to share some information that wouldn't, get her kicked off of there, and being able to, share good information. You know what I mean? But she's like, you kind of had to read between the lines of what she was saying. And that's unfortunate, and it's because the pharmaceuticals own those. They own all of those doctors that go on there. I mean, they own everyone.
They got
Bad.
us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless we do the things that are going to make sure we're informed. So
Yep.
I saw some people had a good time with us on this one. Let me see. Stacy, who's one of my clients who I enjoy talking to because she has critical thinking, and she hears me. I'm not saying that she always is in full agreement with me, right? Because when you have a client that has a
But
lot of experience with different beliefs and different philosophies and methodologies,
yeah.
which I actually like those kind of clients.
Yeah, me too.
They come in with like a preconceived idea about certain things, and you got to really work through a lot of that, which means you got to slowly open their eyes. And then when they start to realize, okay, and then they have those breakthroughs, man, there's nothing. I mean, I'm more excited about clients that are opinionated
Yeah.
than people. Well, I mean, I like working with people who just come in and like, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do, boss. Those clients are great. And those clients are the ones who get the best success faster
Yeah.
because they come in like with the military type mindset of like, all right, what do we do tomorrow? Got it. And they do it. And I'm telling you, the people that I've helped lose significant amount of weight, get off medications, are the ones who just come in and they just go, what are we doing tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
And they just do it. And that's cool. I have coach calls with those people for like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoy the people who push back.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah.
Your camera's doing that thing again. You going in and out.
Yeah. Something's going on, you guys. I think they're aware of me. They track me down. So, well, I know we're going to end now. So do you want to go to Telegram for just 20 minutes real quick and just make it a quick
Yeah, we can
moment?
go over there. We can go over there quick.
Okay. So if you guys, we made available the link for Telegram, and Lisa will tell you what that looks like, and come over and just hang out with us. We'll keep it at 20 minutes on Telegram, and just have a quick wrap up over there where we can say things that we couldn't say on these platforms.
Yeah. So if you haven't joined us on Telegram yet, just click that link, set up an account. If you're not on Telegram already, if you are, just click that link and join that channel. And then up at the top right hand corner of your screen, once you're connected on that channel, you'll see a join button, and we'll be in there talking, having fun, and we can actually have a conversation back with all of you, as opposed to answer looking at the typed questions. So it's fun.
All
Come
right.
join us.
We'll see you guys over there. Okay. For
All right.
now, you got Hammer Girl, the one and only Lisa Marie, Robert Ferguson. Thank you guys for being here with us. That was fun. Until the next one.